Welkom Salim, Bayri, onze laatste gast van Prospect vandaag. In Prospect, here at Art Rotterdam, you show the work In Front of Forgiveness, a film with 2 chairs with headphones placed in front of it. And when you put the headphones on, all sound disappears. You literally create silence, a reflexive inner world. And the combination with the silent recordings, the images of a horse, give it quite a touch of mystery, I would say. Salim, I really enjoyed watching the work. It's a very special experience to be in this very silent place. Could you tell us a bit about the ideas about the work?
For me, I took it as a sort of challenge for myself because I tend to work with things that happen to me, anecdotes, things I encounter, and sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not. And in this case, it was a specific memory that stayed with me, and it's from the least fun ones, more melancholic and sad ones, and it comes specifically from this moment where right after my father's passing, we were going to the graveyard for the burial, and it's this moment where it felt a lot of pain and confusion, of course, and as I parked the car with all the family around, all this, it's all a blur anyways. I get out of the car and there's this horse that appears a bit out of nowhere, alone in a field, empty, and he's just there, kind of wanting to play, or he was just there, and I was like, wow, what is this moment where in the middle of all this, very intense feelings,
emotions.
There was this animal that just simply didn't care, was completely not affected by any of what was happening. And it gave me this feeling of kind of calm and reassurance and the idea that life goes on, basically.
Right. And then there was this urge to do something with that experience and the images 2 years, almost 3 years later. So it took you some time, or?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was a bit elusive with they were asking me, what are you going to show? What are you going to show? So I kept it very, very vague. So, okay, I'm going to show a video. Just give me a screen and I'll do the rest. So I finished the video basically on Monday for it to be loaded on 6 hours later. Yeah. So it was hard, but kind of rewarding somehow. To me, I don't know about the audience.
Well, I enjoyed the work a lot, I must say.
Yeah.
Salim, you make videos, installations, you have a musical duo, you're having music on Spotify. You make drawings, wearables. I would also almost say, what do you not make? Your work has been described as very diverse, versatile, and therefore also somewhat elusive. I noticed, or at least I had the impression, that many of the works have a remarkably light tone in relation to the subjects you touch upon. Playful, I would say, because they look so totally different in almost every aspect, but they are connected at the same time. Is playfulness a word that fits your way of working?
Yeah, definitely, and I think that it's a type of muscle that you try to practice, and I think that in general in life, let's say you're you're born with limited hair follicles or limited ovarian eggs. Playfulness is something that kind of degrades over time, and the obligations of daily life don't help, like the tax authorities or your landlord. So it's a way to kind of go against the current and try to use this like amazing faculty that we have of playing, and but playing in the broad sense, where you're not just playing football with fixed rules, but in art there's a nice thing about it is that you can create your own rules, and that's something that I appreciate a lot and try to use.
Right. And you also hold on to a certain openness, I would say. The works are not really easy to pin down, or it's more raising questions than answering.
I mean, to be honest, I sometimes do some things that I'm not sure about, and I just don't know what they are, being honest, and I'm not that interested in finding answers. There's scientists and other people that do that.
Art opens up that other space.
It's a different task.
I read somewhere, and if I remember correctly, on your website, about your alter ego Said Ali, short for Said Alien, and also that the notion of displacement is important to you. Are those two related? And if so, how does that inform your work?
Just like Jaio said quite well, displacement is quite a vague term, but sometimes it's a bit tricky, because is it like a pretty way to say, I don't know, racism or cultural differences, or these terms that are kind of abolished here of allochtone and autochtone. I don't know what it means, displacement, but it's just like Jaio says, for me sometimes it's a fertile ground to work on, and because it makes you kind of float between things, and when you're floating you try to figure out solutions or new ways to ground yourself. And sometimes it's imposed, just like, I don't know, nationalities or visas and things like that, and sometimes you provoke it intentionally to be kind of virtually displaced, and it's part of the work.
I mean, it's totally clear that it's not a subject, or it's not something you talk about in the work, but in a way it seems to, your way of working seems to evade sort of a center that could possibly, in which you could, grasp the work or understand it, or...
and I think it's done somehow deliberately, because I also believe that in the work, or in art in general, it has this capacity to delay judgment and judge things not in the moment but later. And that's something that doesn't happen in daily life, let's say. It's about finding solution, pinning things down, getting results, and I think that there's a beauty in art of being able to decide later, or making a judgment later, I don't know, 10 years, in 50 years, There's artists today that are recognized, but they are dead in 500 years. So it's a way to delay things and then think about them maybe later, and just give time to important subjects.
In the work, playing of situations, cultures, different systems maybe, brings me to your current show at W139 in Amsterdam at the moment, that you made together with Gita Scali.
Yep.
It's an installation. It's called Dead Skin Cash. I would call it an environment that is inhabited by skin in different bodies, I would say. Hammam buckets, a soundtrack, film and more. Visitors are invited to exchange their skin for cash.
Yep.
It made me very happy. I understood it as a sort of a hint to value creation outside of the economic system as we know it, of course, and especially because the Amsterdam Stock Exchange is right across the street.
Good to see that.
Yeah, not to be missed. It has a remarkable lightness about it. Again, could you tell a bit more about that show?
I mean, some people find it. It's quite a gross show, and it has a dark tone. You know, it's about exploitation and being precarious and having, But at the same time, it's kind of funny and ridiculous because at the opening, I was super surprised of walking in this crowd of people just scraping their skin off and running to cash, get cash for it, and then going back to the bar and buying drinks, and then again having this cycle.
Yeah.
But it's a way to, propose this idea that is surreal and provoke questions. And all the discussions we had and anecdotes are unbelievable. They are great. So it's light, but it's just a way to open the door. The lightness that you refer to is a way to cordially invite to more serious or heavy topics.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Salim.
Thanks a lot.
The work of Salim in Prospect. Go see the film and do put on the headphones.
Yes.
Because otherwise you miss it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're listening to Operator.